the Metal Mixtape here on KSKQ 89.5 FM Ashland, Oregon, 94.1 FM Medford, Oregon. Streaming live on kskqdjramo. It's the boy, it's the dog, DJ Ramo. It is time. It is interview time. We have mega powerhouse melodic vocalist from ANUBIS on the line. We have Devin. What is up, dude?
Not much, dude. What's up with you?
Oh, dude, just,
Those are some very serious words.
Oh, yeah.
Some very serious compliments.
Oh, dude, of course. No, hey, this is I was telling Josh, this is our second interview we've had you on.
Yes, the first was quite a while ago at this point. I think it was even pre-pandemic.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. So yeah, oh yeah, it was way before. So when you told me that we talked, about promoting your new album, dude, I was all for it, dude. We've both been we've been both through a lot in our lives. Like you said, we've been through a pandemic, through not only that, I mean, I lost my house in a fire because my whole town caught on fire. So imagine that. Imagine going through a pandemic and then your whole town catches fire.
Yeah, the vocalist from my other band Hatchet actually had the exact same thing happen. He lost his house in fire too.
Yeah, so it's rough, man. But
it's just the thing that happens nowadays.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. For the last couple days, the Wi-Fi has been going out here in Southern Oregon, and people were calling it like the end of the world and losing their minds. I was like, dude,
that's not the end of the world.
No,
a friend of mine was commenting on the irony of people complaining about
Aaron Hooker
internet being out on the internet.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But no, I dig it, dude. I don't know. People need to wake up, man. I don't know. Even though we do have it hard. I mean, everybody has it hard in every country.
Of course.
The fact that me and you could both sit in a room right now, Zoom with each other, without really worrying that a bomb might fall on us. We don't know, but worrying that that's not going to happen is we're pretty privileged right now.
Yes, indeed.
So, dude, since the last time I talked to you, too, by the way, lead vocalist of ANUBIS, you did a Vakken bottle last year. You went through a ton of rounds and all that, dude.
Made it to the final round.
So I, just as an honest opinion, I've never been a huge fan of competition and battles and all that, because I feel like a lot of times when there is winners of rounds and everything, I'm always worried that there's politics involved, or I'm worried that because the thing is, it's I remember when I did a battle of the bands, and I lived in Redding, and I remember the finals were held in Sacramento, and the last 3 battle of the bands that all won were all Sacramento bands, and also the order that you went in the lineup was accounted by how many tickets you sold, right? So how are all that out of town bands supposed to sell bands where the finals are at and be able to compete with the headliners that are living in that town? So it's okay, I'm living 4 hours away. How am I? And I remember my band, we sold 9 tickets, right? Which we basically packed up 2 cars. So we had our friends and family, and then the band that we battled against sold 50 tickets. So because they sold 50 tickets, they were allowed to headline, and we had to open.
Right. I mean, in this particular case, at this Vakken battle we did, it was the order was drawn by straws before the show. Cool. So it was completely random. They did take several pretty significant steps toward leveling the playing field for the out of town bands, and there were a ton of out of town bands that night. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, you've just got to go into it with the understanding that everything is completely subjective, and you're just doing it for fun and exposure, and don't get too emotionally invested in the outcome, I guess. Because at the end of the day, it's completely subjective, and it could just have to do with the judge's mood that particular day. But at the end of the day, we're all musicians. We just like playing shows, and this is just another show. essentially.
No, I dig it. I have to ask, just because like, how you were talking about how like, like opinions, they're subjective and everything. But
Yeah.
it's kind of like one of the reasons like when I see people getting like album reviews from other places and all that, I always tell them to like be careful, because the thing is, it's like if you're like in a melodic metal band, the last person who should be like doing a review on you is like a death metal guy or somebody
Right.
who does like core and all that, because it's like, I've seen some of the worst reviews from people that don't even like that music in the first place.
Right.
So it's like, so I would hope like when they do these competitions that they pick people who are judging who actually like all styles and
Mhm.
isn't caught up in like a certain style, or caught up in this scene, or caught up in that
Like,
scene.
yeah, like I personally happen to be a grindcore band, so like this prog band gets an instant zero. Like, yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I do remember like way back in the day, seeing a website um, give a review to the Dream Theater album Images and Words, which is obviously one of the best albums ever made, and just
Yeah.
giving it a zero straight up because they're just like, oh
Oh,
god, I'm sick of this prog crap. And yeah, I mean that's why you have to just reviews are just exposure, and
yeah.
um, competitions are just shows. You just At the end of the day, your music has to speak for itself. It has to express something, and if it's connecting with an audience, that's really the only important thing. And reviewers can say whatever they want. They can give you a perfect score or a zero because they don't like prog or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but at the end of the day, if you take all of it too personally and just get too caught up in the sort of the I guess the dopamine hit of having somebody compliment your music, um, yeah, you're just not going to have a good time in life.
Yeah, no, exactly, man. Because like, no, I totally agree with you, man. I'm just afraid that like, yeah, people might just like, let somebody be like the person who's gonna judge their music and tell them how good they're doing, or based on like, it's, I don't know, it's kind of hard because I feel like, nowadays like every band is special on their own,
Yeah,
and as far as you go in your career, I think it's just as far as like it's almost crazy as much as you're able to sacrifice. I feel like when bands break up and they hit certain levels, I feel like it's just all like, hey, are you going to be able to stay away from your family this long, your friends this long? Are you going to be able to like live at a lower standard than you're used to, because the demands ask a whole lot of you, where you might not get a payout at first. I
yeah.
mean,
I mean,
dude, ANUBIS, did you guys crush it? You guys, are dropping a new album. You're always creating content online. I
um,
always see you doing all your covers and everything. And the thing is, it's like, me as a content creator full time too, as well. Like, people don't notice how taxing it is to be able to like, because you could be having like your worst day, Devin, and you could be depressed, having anxiety and everything. But when you turn on that camera and that microphone,
you
you have,
have to
you have to
be in
get you have to pull all your passion out of somewhere, you dude. So how do you deal with the music scene right now with your band, and like what are some of the like short-term goals you're trying to do with Anubis and yourself in life?
short term goals. One, obviously get the album out, which is it's happening, it's dropping, and it's going to be on all physical and digital media. So that's coming regardless of whatever I do. But other than that, we're looking to get on the road this spring or summer or whatever. We're kind of starting to get into like hit up all the promoters we know mode. um just keep putting shit out, like as a creative type, I crave constantly getting stuff out, whether it's a cover or originals or like vlogs or whatever have you. I kind of have this obsessive need to be producing all the time. And it like comes very naturally to me. There's a lot of people who sort of just need to be in inspiration mode, and if they're not, they can just kind of you know find themselves in these big long lulls and dead periods. And I just kind of I have never had a problem with that. Like I I could just feel completely uninspired or whatever, and I'm just like, okay, well, I could be sitting around editing tracks right now, and if I do that for 2 hours, that's just 2 hours worth of work that I won't have to do later. So yeah, producing and putting out content has never ever been a problem for me.
No,
Does
absolutely.
that answer your question, or
Yeah,
was there
yeah,
another
no,
part of the
no,
question?
no, it does. No, no, I was gonna come back with you with just an answer to that. To your answer is like, it's like, do you ever just find yourself like just working so much that your days just fly by, where
Yeah,
like where you kind of wondered like, man, what if I would have gone out with my friends, or what if I would have done this? You know what, the way when I talked to Hannes Ben Dahl from Sabaton, he always said how he always had to sacrifice like hanging out with his friends, or had to sacrifice partying and doing all this just because,
right.
he said he felt like a certain anxiety when he wasn't doing it. Like, do you ever feel like you put your maybe too much pressure on yourself sometimes?
Well,
Because I
I
feel
think
like
that
it's almost like survival of the fittest, the music industry
sure.
nowadays.
Well, I think that this is kind of an area where I'm very uniquely blessed in this regard, because I actually have pretty severe social anxiety. I don't like I'm really awkward around people, and I don't tend to spend a lot of time with people even who are my closest friends. It's just the way I am. Like, I'm awkward at parties, and I don't get invited to them often, and it's not, in my case, it's not so much a case of like hanging out with people versus producing content. It's just like, if I wasn't producing content, I would just be like sitting around, like wishing I was doing anything, anything else. Um, so yeah, in that regard, the current iteration of the music industry is actually really well tailored for sort of my particular personality, because you know I don't have to be out rubbing elbows or whatever with people. I mean, that doesn't hurt, obviously, but like, I'm very suited towards a sit in your room and do stuff on your computer in your private time based model of producing content. If
Yeah,
that makes
isn't that crazy? Like nowadays, like if you really like, I feel like if you really want to make it like as a musician, it's like you have to be almost like really self-sufficient online before you go
yeah,
on the road. Because I feel like, I can't tell you how many bands I've talked to that just say like you'll go broke so quick going on the road if you don't
yeah,
have your machine. It's crazy. Like as I mean, I totally agree with you that like doing creative content online and everything, like it is suitable for certain personalities and everything, but it's like now if you're not even comfortable like creating content or anything, you almost have to be comfortable now,
yeah. I mean,
because
the music industry currently is very poised to reward sort of like self-isolating nerds who spend too much time on their computer. Um, when I mean, back, in the 90s and 80s, and it's what you would call a heyday of rock and metal, those people would just never go anywhere. Like, those people would or just would have just been anathema to anything music related, because you needed to be out meeting people. And but nowadays you can just do it on your phone while you binge Community in your underpants. Um,
oh yeah,
yeah,
no, it's insane. I've seen a lot of success stories come from bands that just create so much content within their house, and it doesn't even cost that much money. I feel like a lot of people that they've gotten so good with so little that they're
oh,
able
yeah.
to like
You can
do so
you can get
much.
fucking amazing results with just like $1,000 worth of gear, if
Yeah,
you know how to. I mean,
yeah,
you need to teach yourself, but you know,
no,
there's basically, if all you need right now is just a drive to be creative, and you'll find a way to do it.
no, I totally agree, dude. So with your new band, I mean not with your new band, but with ANUBIS, you have the new album coming out. Is like what was the inspirations behind this album, and since you guys are trying to like book a tour and promote this album, like what's the mindset behind the band to get out there and like I'm talking about like is there something new that you're trying to do with this release and maybe a new approach to this next tour coming up that you maybe haven't done in the past?
Well, so I should say when we say tour, we mean like, little mini tours. We mean,
Oh yeah, yeah.
3-day excursions, a couple states away, like West Coast run. Like, we're not talking about like full US runs yet. I don't think we're at that level, and I don't think it would make much sense. Like, but so the basically that just feels like the next step. Like, I kind of think that we have not necessarily exhausted the resources we have now, but it's definitely time to sort of hit the pavement and take a dual approach where we're doing the internet thing and we're doing the sort of, I guess, more traditional thing. Because ultimately you do need to be touring to reach the next level of your career. Unless you're one of the absolute minority of a minority of a minority that ends up going just viral. But yeah, touring. I mean, I've done quite a bit of touring in my life with my other band, and so I'm pretty well adapted to it. I know what to expect. Um, yeah, I'm very curious to see what people outside of the sort of LA bubble, how new people react to it.
Yeah. No, I dig it. Is the LA bubble pretty hardcore? Is there a lot of hierarchies in LA?
Well, when I say LA bubble, I just mean the fan base that we've already got here, and the sort of little community of people that have already, who are familiar with us, know the live set really well. Yeah, it's very eager to get out of that, because the last time we did a mini tour, it kind of was a little bit of a disaster. Like, we had just had a guitar player bail on us like a couple weeks before we left, so we were basically touring as a three-piece.
Oh
And
man, that's tough.
ANUBIS was definitely not ever intended as a three-piece. I was still playing bass and singing at the time, which, you know, as people know by now, I was always very good at bass, and I would like to think okay at singing, but doing them together just made me horrible at both. So that was definitely not the best iteration of the band to take on the road. And we've played, of the out of town shows that we played. Some of them have gone surprisingly well. Like, we played um, a show in San Francisco with nothing but death metal bands. Just like, we were talking brutal, technical, like fucking death fucking metal. And I was like, okay, this is gonna be like, people are gonna tolerate us. Hopefully they're nice. And that was one of the best reactions we've ever gotten that night. So, metal crowds will surprise you.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. So, dude, so what I've heard of this album, absolutely sick. Why don't you tell everybody a little bit about the album coming out? We did play the track that we have a music video out, right?
Not
First Prince
yet,
of Dark
not
Paradise.
yet. It's I actually don't know if I'm supposed to be talking about that, but well, okay. I guess the cat's out of the bag that we have a music video coming up.
Was that a secret? Oh
I don't
man, I
I
suck.
don't know. I mean, as long as we don't play it, it's probably fine. Um,
Don't worry, my station's not like, we're not like, no, we have a lot of listeners, but well, I mean, we do have billions and billions of listeners, so it might have got out of the bag. But continue.
yeah, well, okay. Spoiler alert: we've got a music video coming out probably sometime around like the date of the album dropping. What was your question again?
Oh, I was just gonna say if there was any information that we could hear about the new album, and also like you guys have recorded music in the past and everything. Was there something different you accomplished on this album that you maybe fine-tuned, or something you experimented with that you haven't in the past music that you've released?
I mean, I guess sort of all the music we've ever done has been sort of an experiment to one degree or another. Like we kind of draw a lot of influence from power metal and thrash metal and a little death metal. And I think that we've always tried to sort of rework the balance of all those influences with every release we've done, which have been, EPs and singles up to now. And so I think for this album is mostly just a continuation of the direction that we've been going in, since a year or two ago, when we really solidified this lineup. I feel like I'm babbling. Okay, let me start at the beginning.
Okay.
So this album is called Dark Paradise, and it was basically written as a 5-song EP. So it was just going to be 5 or 4, I don't remember, but it was basically just going to be another EP. And then we got contacted by M Theory, which is the label that's releasing it, and basically they said that they're only interested in releasing full albums, and which is always fine to me, because albums are really what I've always wanted to be doing. It just never made sense to do them without a label. So we basically kind of had a fire under our ass to expand this EP into I'm getting text, to expand the EP we had into a full length album. So we got a bunch of songs. We did the death cover, and we just pulled a couple of songs that have been in sort of the embryonic stages, and some that have been just our back catalog for a while that we've been meaning to get to. And we really needed to show this label that we were serious about dealing with them. We were still serious about putting out full length albums with them, and that we're serious about getting this shit done, that we weren't going to be a band that just was all talk or anything like that. And I guess this was just the result. There's some songs that are just straight ahead power metal. There's some kind of Nevermore-ish sounding tracks.
Love
There's
them.
some darker stuff. There's some sort of like more metalcore influence stuff. Just like always, it's a big confluence of just a random grab bag of metal influences. We're still, even in this lineup, we're still all pretty much influenced by every corner of the metal genre.
Dude, I love it, dude. That's super sick. So you're saying, you're going with the label. Did you guys record everything in house and have to like talk to them about like mixing or mastering, like, did you guys present the album to them and like they just were like okay with it? Like how does that come about when you're like approaching a label with an album? Like how does that work?
Well, so the label approached us after a show. Our buddy Eric Dow from Hellsot, he's kind of one of the higher ups at M Theory, and he saw us on a show and just said that he was impressed and that he wanted to work with us. And Marco, the head of M Theory, was the manager for Hatchet, my other band. So I've got some rapport with him already, and it just kind of went from there. So yeah, he approached us. We told him, and we told him straight up, we've got a 5-song EP that's basically ready to drop any second now, and if you want, we'll expand it to a full length. So what we do, what we always do, we record on our own. We do all the tracking on our own, just because we like to record in a low pressure, chill environment. Usually we'll be drinking, just hanging out, playing video games, and while one of us tracks on my laptop in the corner, and then like the next guy will come up and they'll switch, and the other guy will start playing with video games. And Yeah, it's a really cool environment. And then we send it off to the mixing guy who actually knows what the fuck he's doing, which we do not. So very very glad to have people like him. It was mixed by a guy named Josh Franks, mastered by
Okay.
Mika Juli. I'm not pronouncing his name right, but Mika Jusila from Finvox.
Okay.
Mastered for like Avantasia, Nightwish, Sonata Arctica, a whole bunch of really cool bands.
Dude, that's super sick, dude.
Yeah,
When
yeah.
oh, so go ahead.
No, I was gonna say anything.
Oh, okay. No, dude, that's super badass, dude.
Yeah,
No, that's definitely the way to do it. And especially, I'm sure it'd be like you're recording with the label studio and all that. I'm sure there's like pressures on when to release it because of money and all that. When do you guys is there a date that you guys plan to release this album?
yeah. I believe it's either February 23rd or 24th. Um, I've seen both those days around. I should probably get it solidified which of those days, but late February
Cool.
essentially. So
Dude,
little more than a month.
dude, I love it. I love it.
Thank you. I really appreciate hearing that. Like
Yeah,
I'm
oh
very
dude,
bad
dude,
at taking
hey,
compliments.
I'm not trying to be biased just because I like powerhouse vocalists, but
Oh,
no, dude. I mean, I grew up a metalcore kid. I'm not gonna lie. Like my favorite band in the whole
honor
world is
that.
Avenged Sevenfold. My favorite band. I have a Trivium tattoo
Hell
on my
yeah.
arm because I'm 34, so like the 2005, the 2000 to 2005 era of those albums, the As I Lay Dyings and the Kill Switches and the Bullet from a Valentine's. But also the first music I ever heard was like Ozzy and Iron Maiden and like
Right.
Rob Halford. Like I think the first DVD I ever saw was like a Judas Priest DVD that I was just mind blown. Like it was like I mean, Rob Halford couldn't have been like 20 or 21.
Oh,
He
really?
was just he was just in his heyday.
So did he
Um,
have the long hair?
yeah, he has longer hair. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. That was a wild, very
Um,
interesting period of Judas Priest.
oh yeah, dude. No, dude, but no. For everybody out there, the new album coming out, Dark Paradise. You said February 23rd or 25th, right?
23rd or 24th.
30.
Pretty
Okay.
sure 23rd.
All right.
But,
So please check them out. And where can everybody find you?
everywhere. We've got a link tree. We're on all the platforms: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, which I refuse to refer to as X, um, Spotify, YouTube, pretty much everything. If you go to our Instagram, which is ANUBIS Metal Official, I believe, that's where you can find our link tree, and it'll have everything you need.
Dude, I love it. And for everybody just tuning in, if you missed the interview, this interview will be up tomorrow afternoon on YouTube, and that will
Okay.
be posted on all of our social medias.
Oh, hell yeah.
Before I let you go, you want to answer 3 quick questions?
Sure. I'll answer any questions.
All right,
Any
all
questions.
right. In a zombie apocalypse, you only could have one weapon and destroy the zombie horde, and it can't be the cure or a nuke. What is your weapon?
Flamethrower.
Flamethrower? I
Flamethrower.
like it. All right, all right.
Or I'm sure if I thought about it, I'd come up with a better answer. But for all intents and purposes,
I like it. I like it. If you could choose your death, but it had to be by somebody in a horror movie, who would you choose to kill you, and how would they do it?
it would be, oh God, oh God, edit out the blank. um,
Hey, the blank gives it personality.
huh?
I said the blank gives it personality.
Yeah, I mean, I also might be revealing as to how little I watch of the horror genre.
Anime? Do you watch anime?
No, I watch even less anime. I would.
All right. If you
Let me
could
come
choose
back to that.
if you could choose any way to die, how would you do? What is the most epic way you want to go out?
I would hire a prostitute to have sex with me
Oh,
and
by the
shoot
way, we're
me
on
in the
FM
head.
radio, so it
Oh,
can't be two. Can't be too
Okay.
crazy. I had to stop you there.
Okay. I would.
I've been on radio 6 years. I know when we're hitting a red flag.
Okay. Then let's just go with the classic jump off the Empire State Building.
Okay. Last question. What is the one type of music you listen to that is furthest from the genre you play?
Doo-wop.
New wop?
I'm a fair like the old school like 1950s and 1960s shit.
Doo wop?
Yeah.
Is that Hanson? Doo wop, doo wop, doo
No,
wop?
no,
I'm
no.
just
We're
joking.
talking no like
That's Bop. That's Bop.
yeah. No, not
Ah.
Hanson. Not Hanson. No, I'm talking about like the old school like Gene Chandler, the Drifters, like
Marcel's.
what was that?
Marcel's?
The Marcel's.
Oh my God, I freaking adore the Marcells. Yeah, the Marcells are one of my favorite doo-wop groups.
Good stuff, man. Good
yeah.
stuff.
That was my
That is-
co-host saying that. I don't have that taste.
That is most definitely the least metal music that I listen to.
I like it. Before I let you go, last but not least, can you say this is Devin from ANUBIS and you are listening to the Metal Mixtape?
This is Devin from ANUBIS. You're listening to the Metal Mixtape.
Rock and roll, brother. I'm
and roll,
excited.
brother.
Everybody to listen to Dark Paradise coming out February 24th, we believe, right?
23rd, probably.
23rd. All right, sounds good. Check out ANUBIS on all platforms. Devin, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. From all listeners who missed this interview, it will be up tomorrow afternoon, and all the links will be blown up everywhere. Much love, brother. Thank you so much for being on the Metal Mixtape, and I hope you have a wonderful night.
You too, dude. Have a wonderful night.